The weather promises to get a little bit more interesting around the southeastern part of the country. Going into the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we start to see these scattered showers and thunderstorms of what looks a whole lot more like a summertime pattern developing. But in the here and now, what's going on is we have an area of high pressure that's right in this area, right over top of Arkansas. East of it, or on the right-hand side, the wind is still out of the north over Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee. But it's beginning to get a little bit of Gulf moisture caught up in the flow around it into Texas and Oklahoma. And look out here to the west, over New Mexico and West Texas, where they have a couple of severe thunderstorms in progress on Wednesday afternoon. We'll go farther west and look at the water vapor imagery in the mid to upper atmosphere, and it's starting to be a little more clear to see that we've got something going on back here to the west. That would be the jet stream. And out here on the leading edge of it, where the flow is kind of diverging, it's called difluence. That's where you have upward motion. That's where we've got the thunderstorms. By tomorrow, what'll happen with this is it ends up over Texas and Oklahoma, and they may wind up with some pretty significant thunderstorms out that way. Let's talk about the weather here around Alabama, though. Next few days, some pretty big changes on the way for us. First of all, we're going to drop into the 40s tonight, and tomorrow morning will be just as chilly as it has been the last few mornings. But into Thursday afternoon, it actually warms up a little bit. We're thinking mainly upper 70s for Birmingham southward, Tuscaloosa southward toward Demopolis, Montgomery. Still mid-70s and lower 70s in Cullman, Blount, Etowah, Winston, Marion counties northward up toward Huntsville, Decatur, Athens, the Shoals, and then certainly Sand Mountain's going to be a little bit cooler than everybody else in that instance. Friday, well, here come the first rounds of scattered thunderstorms, and what you've got going on here is that, remember that jet stream? Well, it ends up right over this region right here, and underneath that, where the Gulf moisture is coming north into Texas and Oklahoma, a slight risk, or essentially sometimes what we call level 2 or scattered severe thunderstorms, develop over the southern plain states. Once those start to move east, I think they're going to lose some punch, but look at that back over Arkansas. Now, this particular forecast model that we're looking at is the IBM graph. It's a 4-kilometer model, meaning that its little grids are 4 kilometers wide, 4 kilometers tall. So as we're looking at little pieces of the atmosphere, we're missing a lot of details. So this looks highly detailed. It's not going to tell us exactly how the storms work, but what we think happens is Friday morning, we get some showers up around Huntsville, Scottsboro, Fort Payne, Rainsville, maybe Marshall and Cullman counties too. Jasper, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, we're probably in the sunshine for at least the first half of the day on Friday. Then watch this. Out to the northwest, there are some thunderstorms in progress. Now, can they hold together and do something like that and send a line of storms southeast across the Birmingham metro area Friday afternoon? It's possible. There will certainly be enough energy down here to the south of that line that a few storms could be strong, and then north of it will start to clear out, and then you wind up with a thunderstorm hamburger. That's what we've drawn right there. So scattered storms are on Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's just more of the same there. High temperatures are in the 80s. Overnight lows are down in the 60s. Check out the rainfall here. I'm calling this thunderstorm chaos for a reason, and that's because, like I said a minute ago, the grids on these models, I'll tell you what, let me draw it a little bit differently. Let's draw it with the idea of grid markers instead of little orange arrows. So I'm going to make the lines black, and I'm going to turn the arrowhead off. So here we go. So if a forecast model has grid points, now those would be probably a good 40 or 50 miles wide. Well, this particular forecast model is on a 9-kilometer grid. So even there, we're still something like this right here. The width is fairly narrow, but there's a lot of land that you can see in between, and you've got lines that run something like this right here. And think about them again, 9 kilometers apart. Thunderstorms themselves happen on 1 kilometer or less grids, and they're not truly grids. It's just the information that we would need to accurately predict exactly when and where a thunderstorm would happen, but we just don't have it. So that's why we're calling them occasional scattered storms, 7 days worth of rain. Parts of Shelby and Jefferson counties, we could have maybe 2 or 3 inches in a few neighborhoods. And then you look at North Tuscaloosa County. Look at the difference between, say, Moundville and Samantha. Well, that would be nearly a 2-inch rainfall gap across Tuscaloosa County alone. Or look here at Montgomery. Southeast of Montgomery, that would correlate to maybe a 1/4 inch of rain. And then you get over here to Demopolis, and we're looking at maybe 3 inches of rain, or even more than that, around New Hope or up towards Skyline in Jackson County, contrasted with some really, really low amounts East Alabama. When you see a map like this time of year, they can be useful in some ways, yes, but they are not going to be a perfect representation of how it actually works, because rainfall is going to be very, very scattered. So what about beyond the 7-day forecast? Looking at Wednesday of next week here, 82 for a high, 64 for a low, chance of an isolated shower. Big area in the southeast where things are just going to be warmer than normal. It'll be a whole lot more like May than what we've been used to so far this month. The average high in Birmingham would be about 81. The average low about 57. So instead of nice, crisp, cool nights, things are going to be a whole lot warmer in the days ahead.